All right, all right, all right. What's up, folks? Man, let's get into today's live stream show. Man, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, such as my goddamn self. Man, I know I don't act like no veteran, because I don't act programmed, don't act as if I've been brainwashed in the military, behave how y'all expect military people or how y'all assume military people are based on movies and these little clown TV shows of soldiers and all that other stuff. But it ain't the case. Maybe it's the case for people who live in mountainous region, rural regions and stuff like that. Maybe they get brainwashed into their conduct, behavior, and other people who don't know how to think for themselves. They get roped up into a particular behavior, a scripted behavior, what they think military people act like. And I don't. I don't behave like that at all. But also, I had found a photo, man, of my old lieutenant. Man, I was talking about. I told this story before where I used to drive for the one lieutenant. This one I was getting in a lot of trouble, and they end up removing me from being the driver. This is the way I end up not having to go to the field. I didn't have to do a lot of shit. This is back when this dude, to looking at the picture on the far right. So as you look at the rank on these dudes was lieutenants back when I was in there. This dude Barta, this dude I forget this dude. I recognize other faces, but the officer with the golden gold hat, what's it called? Them Stetsons with the kind of brownish Stetson over there. That was Lieutenant Ferguson, who you see is a full bird colonel. But this is a while ago. It's possible that Ferguson may have a star. Ferguson possibly could be a general as well as Barter. But when I was in these dudes, because this photo is old. This photo is from several years ago. But all three of these dudes, matter of fact, all three of them. So I see the rank on the guy to the far left. Let me see. Let me blow this up. See what's his name, because I don't remember his name. Let me see. Is that Grogan's, whatever his name was? But he was a lieutenant as well. They were all first lieutenant. What's his name? Uh, I can't even see his name, but they were, like I said, they were all lieutenants. This dude in the middle was our colonel, our battalion, the battalion commander, back when I was in there. And these dudes are all lieutenants. But I used to drive for Ferguson, who was the guy furthest to the right. And that's back when I was always getting in trouble, man. They removed me from being his driver after I went off on one of them sergeants. I told the sergeant I'd knock his motherfucking ass out, man. They got to talking shit. He got to talking shit on me walking across the field. Man, I told I'll knock I'll knock your motherfucking ass out. You better watch it up. Man, come on, man. I didn't play none of that shit. Didn't play none of that old tuck your tail shit that is common amongst people. Man, dang, how do I got my damn live stream messed up? Let me take it off of this vertical crap. I see it's in that vertical thing. I don't like that kind of live streaming thing. Uh, but I see they offer that option. I don't like it like that. I need to take that crap off. But wait, hold on. How do I fix this junk? Man, that crap is garbage, homie. How do I take this shit off? It is what it is. Forget it. But yeah, but so back to this one, man. But yeah, I was the driver for this dude was lieutenant. These dudes just constantly moving up in rank. So presently, this dude, it's possible that this dude, all three of them could have one star. The one to the furthest to the left is a lieutenant colonel. So he's one rank below them. Even though he's a lieutenant colonel, they're full bird colonels. They're one step below becoming one star generals and then moving up through those ranks. The other guy in the shirt, pretty sure he's retired. I think he was my last battalion commander when I was getting out. But this fool will always look out for me, Ferguson. Ferguson used to always also have talks with me. It's like, want to know why my behavior was how it was. Like, why do I approach people the way I approach them? And I had to tell Ferguson, man, like, man, you don't understand that shit. You're a white guy. You have certain things that you're never addressed with when it comes to things inside of American society. There's things you will never ever face, man, and it's just simple as that. I don't jump in here creating the issues. I don't create these issues here inside of this company. Like I don't do none of that. It's these fools within the company who are on that BS, and I just address them as the situations approach me. It's just simple as that. Just really letting them know, like, man, I don't be looking for none of this shit. Like, y'all see what the hell's going on. You see what white soldiers do, and nobody addresses it. Nobody says nothing. So anytime I'm saying something to anybody, I'm like, I ain't even that type of person. I ain't a person that comes at people sideways. I don't do anything like that, man. I come in here to do my job, try to learn, try to be good at it, and it's simple as that. But when we come into work, and it's always these double standards within this military. You have the white standard of what they can get with, and the black standard. It's always revolves around disciplinary actions that aren't levied the same way. It's not a balance distribution of military justice or the disciplinary thing that you go through. It was like I was always on it. Talking about, man, the white soldiers can do some of the craziest goddamn shit and still would not be given Article 15s as easy as everybody. Well, I was the one in that unit who was on Article 15s a lot, but a lot of people was facing disciplinary actions. But my thing was I didn't put up with none of that shit. And I think that's why even Ferguson had me where I was his driver at one point, so I didn't have to be out in the field. When we used to go to the field for a little short time, I was the driver. I got to go back to my barracks. I didn't have to sleep in the field. And it was just that one incident. Every time I was getting into these incidents, and they'll pull me off of these little special assignments I was getting. Even when I was working at the gym towards my final, like 6 months in there, I think I worked at that gym for like 6 months. But every time I get in an incident, the first thing they do is pull me from that mug. And then it was a sergeant major. Man, I wish somebody had an old photo of this unit, because I cannot think of the sergeant major's name, man, who always used to bail me out, man. They'll pull me from that gym and send me right back over that mug. Be like, man, y'all not fucking with this dude. I go right back to that damn over to that damn gym. But I was also looking at some of the homies. So this is our barracks, man. Our barracks is directly across the street from the 1st Cav Division. Like, these are some other, ours is like on the other side, but we were in the 1st Cav. So that's the 1st Cav Division directly across the street from there. But as you see in this time period, and you can see with how we dressed, you see the Jordans. Hold on, I don't know the number of the Jordans, like my family, my relatives who be on here. Let me see Jordan shoes. I go with the number of the Jordan shoe brand that we got on our feet, and that kind of gives you a detailed year. This has to be like 2001 or something like that. This is definitely 2000, 2001, I believe. Let me check the Jordan brands. That's the way I can tell by the Jordan shoe numbers. I don't know the shoe numbers like everybody else does. Hold on, where's this shit at? Yeah, where's the Jordan shoes? How do I lay out all the Jordan shoes? Give me 1 second, folks. Let me find these Jordan shoe brands, because I see them on our feet. The ones that used to come in the suitcase, those was $200 Jordans right there. I think I was getting every pair that was coming out. That's back when I used to buy Jordans, buy all type of shoes back then. Was a fool with just wanting to buy all type of shoes and shit. Spending $200 on them damn shoes. Hold on, where are these Jordans at? I think here it is. Those are Jordan 17. So let me pull this diagram of these shoes. And what year was that? 2002. So this is the year 2002 when we're in this photo. So this is like my last. Oh, wait, you know what? I can probably tell I think I got an afro. So I know I'm not in the unit. So I'm growing my hair kind of in a fro. So I know I'm over in that gym and shit. So looking at the photo, I got on the J's. The homie Adams got on the J's. This fool got the fool Fontaine got the FUBU jersey. That fool Fontaine matter of fact, this is who it is. When I tell the story about when I go over there to the homie is sergeant. So Fontaine the sergeant, I go over there to his unit where he pulling CQ over the weekend. And I walk in there, he and is slapping the fuck out that private, that soldier that he got. Bow! Bow! Just bitch slapping this dude. And I walk in, what the fuck? Fontaine, the same dude. When I tell the story, we at the gym. At the gym, I end up working at. We in there playing basketball on the weekend, and this one young kid in there dogging everybody. I wish I knew this kid. This kid is probably in the NBA. That kid, this kid was a young kid. I don't even think this kid was in high school, or probably in the ninth grade at this time. But this kid game was stupid. I'm talking about everybody guard this kid because this nigga Fontaine was getting mad because this nigga, the homie Gip, who sitting next to Fontaine, I think he guarded the kid for a while. Kid dogging him. I think I tried to guard the kid. Kid was dogging. I think even Fontaine tried to guard the fool. He ended up getting switched off. Couldn't guard him. Nobody could guard this kid. He was like on some KG shit. Kid had like a KG low post type game. From outside, Kevin Durant with his shit. This kid was dogging everybody. So this dude, when a shot get missed, one of the kids go up and he actually elbow Fontaine. That one kid dogging everybody, laugh about that. She like giggling. He a young kid. He thought the shit was funny. Fontaine looking like Fontaine had something like triggered in his brain. Something was a little off with this nigga. And they go walking to the court and just bomb on this young dude. Pow! The kid immediately grabbed his face and got the booking. He got to run across the goddamn gym. We like, fool, what the fuck is you doing? We like, nigga, you got to go, homie, because he had just got promoted. He just became a sergeant. But that fool ultimately ended up getting kicked out, I think, for beating up a lieutenant. He beat up a lieutenant at like a little unit gathering and shit. And then this nigga, the homie Gip the one, man, Gip got a cold story with a bitch, man. That fool, Gip was in there. We go to the club, that nigga always in there starting fights. That nigga always come to the damn club and he'll start a fight. That's the homie out of Georgia. This nigga was crazy. That nigga just come in there and he come to the club with, because back then in the 2000s, when them old country ass niggas, y'all, they come in the club with them big ass buckles. And they come with the big ass buckles on, starched up jeans and shit, with his shades and shit, come walking in there, they be coming in there staring at niggas doing this shit. It'd be almost like, what the fuck you even come to the club for, man? Just to start some shit. That motherfucker get in there, he used to start a lot of fights in there and shit. This is my homie Adams, man. Adams the one where I tell the story I be telling, that the girl who got killed by the dude from High Five, the group High Five brother, and then the member of High Five and killed his wife in the same fashion. But the homie Adams, who I'm sitting next to, Adams was with her homegirl. That's Adams' wife. Adams' wife, homegirl, is that girl Stevani. But this is my dog right here, the homie Adams right here. This is my homie from Louisiana, Hummer, Louisiana. This is the homie J.O., the one who was out here cashing in that 10-cent receipt. That nigga was like a big brother to everybody, man. He had been in the unit the longest, down to earth, real ass dude. And to this day, everybody in this 212 shit, we all got high respect for this nigga J.O., man. Then Sanders right here in the tank top. Then you have Flemings right here towards the end, man. All solid brothers, man. It's even more of us. This J.O. right here with his shirt off and the do-rag, and that's my homie Martin, man. Martin, matter of fact, I'm surprised I never pulled these photos up when I tell these stories. Well, we had that, I tell that story about them white dudes we beat up in that damn McDonald's parking lot. And the dude, when we thinking the dude pulling the damn gun, I was me, Martin, and that fool Fontaine. So we when we walk up to their truck, because first when they pull up behind us in the drive, they got high beams on. We tell them turn the fucking high beams off. Then these old backwood little country motherfuckers start playing the DMX, y'all gonna make me lose my mind song. And we laughing that shit off. I like, oh, these white dudes think they funny. But they turn the fucking headlights off. So we go to pulling out the drive-through, motherfucker putting his middle finger out the window. I say, hey man, turn this motherfucker around. These fools think shit funny. They think shit a game. Turn around. When they see us parking, them niggas, when they get their food, they point out and they stop. Right as they pull, they stop right in the middle of the parking lot. Like, oh yeah, they with it. Like we about to get a good ass fight in this parking lot. Martin run up on the damn passenger side. He up there yanking on the door. We see old boy reaching behind the back seat. And we telling that fool, because we always hear about them country fools carrying damn shotguns and shit. And we like, fool, hey, Martin, the fool grabbing the gun. Like, come on. This fool still grabbing for this fool door. Fucking, we go, me and Fontaine running off. We turn back and look. Like, man, this nigga still at the door. Oh boy, open that door. He come out, he got a pole and shit. And so him and Martin struggling for that pole and shit. And so we run back over there and we see he ain't got the gun. That nigga Martin still over there wrestling when they touch for that pole. The driver go come getting out the car like he want to jump on Martin. Fire on that punk ass dude. Man, that shit was easy work. Punch that white dude in his eye. Pow! 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 He up there. He starts screaming this shit. Fuck this shit up. Painted him. Put a nice little Picasso painting on his motherfucking face. Dogged him. He out. And then so him and Martin, so Martin get the little pole from him. They in there going at it. Boom, boom, good rumble. Doom, 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 doom. They going out towards the street. Nah, dope fiend that bitch. Boo! And his homie like, no, look. I said, shut up, bitch. Cause he up there curled. He on the ground like a hoe. He laid on the ground like, shut up, bitch. Before I fucking kick you in your mouth. And then him and Martin let him get the Pharaoh. Martin dust that little punk off. And then we get up in the car like, fuck y'all. Niggas wanted to shake hands like, nigga, fuck you, bitch. Like, fucking get in the car, roll off, nigga, feeling happy in the mother. Cause I didn't like them type people at all. Like, I'm a LA motherfucker, but I don't live by none of that blood and crip shit. Cause I'm a black motherfucker before anything. I respect that shit. And I wish LA motherfuckers get an understanding of how necessary that the black gangs are, and not being on drive-by shit, tripping on niggas about colors and none of that stupid ass shit. But motherfuckers don't know who they are, what they come from. You just get retarded motherfuckers that want to belong to shit and have no understanding of what the fuck they doing. Just reckless as fuck. Half of them fucking drug babies. But that's that. But like I said, I've never had to where being an LA motherfucker where I'm tripping on motherfuckers. You live over here, you claim this. Like, fuck all that. But with little racist ass backwood motherfuckers, oh my God. That's what most of my trouble in the military was. Over that shit. And the fools thought they was gonna fuck me up. But Martin ended up getting killed, man. Martin was, man, it was all type of shit, man. This fool was facing a court martial, end up losing all his rank, beating that shit, moving up to becoming, I think Martin became like an E6 or E7 or something. Then he ended up getting caught up in some shit over some shit that I ain't gonna put that shit out. He ended up getting caught up over some dealing shit. Think he got put out over that. I think he lost that case, or he got like a other than honorable, whatever it was. But he get busted for some pills and shit. But even in Iraq, he was doing this. Nigga was always hustling and shit. He was the one I tell a story where the fool almost faced a court martial. Where I don't go to the court martial court case, because I was at this point in the military. I was like, fuck it. When I feel like going to work, I didn't go. I go to formation in the morning and then go back to my room. If I didn't feel like going to work, I leave that motor pool, be up in the room. If I want to watch TV, I'll be in there watching TV, walking around. I was doing all type of shit of just being like, I'm going to do what the fuck I want. And was getting away with that shit. That's because they had me over in that headquarters unit, and not with on a tank for a period of time. When they took me out of Alpha Company, they ended up moving me to headquarters and shit. And I used to be like, man, fuck these fools. I do my PT in the morning, and then I leave. Nigga, I'll be gone, nigga, I'll be gone for hours. And sometimes I'll be gone for the whole day and may come back for the final formation, for the end of the day formation. I'll pop up an hour before that motherfucking reveille, whatever that damn shit called. Other than that, if I feel like chilling, then I chill. Then the other people in the headquarters unit, they start doing what I was doing. Some of the fools be disappearing, wouldn't be at work. These old incompetent ass people, they got a leadership. Then they started trying to round people up and people missing. I'm telling you, they was just incompetent. And nice to see through that shit. Like, fuck it, I'm about to get by with that shit. Let me see what other homies I see on here. So this is all of us in the club. These fools drinking. That's me in the back. Man, these are some solid motherfucking dudes right here. These are some solid ass dudes, man. Like I say, man, we was a very tight motherfucking unit. And then the homie right here in the middle, man, this fool end up getting one of them stop losses. So this is around the time in damn, well, I can't remember this fool's name. Damn, what's his fool name? But he out of Georgia. I think that fool was out of Atlanta and shit. This when they start. This is after September 11 when that Afghanistan shit kicked off. They hadn't did that stop loss shit. They had put stop loss on people who were military intelligence who had a background in being able to speak whatever the language in Iraq is, that Arabic or whatever it is. The one, because I worked at the gym with this one girl who was getting medically discharged. They end up canceling out her medical discharge and put her on stop loss, where all that shit is null and void. As long as they need you, you remain in service and shit. Because she's linguistic, specializing in whatever that language they speak in Iraq. So they were doing military intelligent people who spoke the language and shit, and then special forces, Green Berets, Rangers, all of them motherfuckers end up on stop loss. So whatever their discharge dates was, that shit was null and void. They hadn't did it to us. We tankers and shit. So they hadn't got us tankers yet. So then that shit start coming later. Like after I was already out, tankers start being on stop loss. I think that's when they finally start going into Iraq, I believe. They gave the homie, damn, where's Smitty is? I wish Smitty was in here. Damn, I cannot remember the homie name right here. And so they end up giving us stop loss and shit. And this dude had like a few months left. No, maybe was he a few months or maybe in his final month? And then they end up hitting that fool with stop loss. He ended up going over to Iraq. But lucky, he ended up making it back too. He made it back safely from that mug. But yeah, gave the homie stop loss. This is the homie Miles. This back when I used to be making the CDs and shit. The homie Miles was a dude who's supposed to go. I think Miles had a tryout in the NFL and shit. He ended up being on some. This is me right here, and then that's Miles the hat. Then nigga Miles from Virginia. This fool probably had about 1,000 hats. Anytime you see Miles, you nigga always had a different hat. But Miles was supposed to go to NFL. He ended up being brought into training camp for some NFL teams and shit. I don't know if injuries or something railroaded that shit. But Miles is a big ass fucking dude. Miles is big than a motherfucker. And it was a one time the unit had a fight, man. Miles was just like, man, he was hitting motherfuckers and knocking them the fuck out. But yeah, man, these are some solid fucking dudes right here. Real solid dudes, my brothers. And then this was me when they tried to, this is the one photo, this is my little brother, and then my homie Chajil with the do-rag. This was me going back from, I came home, the fools tried to deny my leave, and I was like, fuck that. It was like around a holiday or something. I was like, fuck that, I'm going home. This is me on the way back. I missed my flight. Because I'm in this military shit. My time is thrown off. I'm used to this 24-hour time shit that we use. Whatever my flight said, I mistake the time I was supposed to leave and shit. Missed the day. The day I don't show up for formation, I call these fools and tell them I'm going to be back late. They want to try to claim I'm AWOL. Like on the phone call I was calling. I said, well, what it is, whatever it is. Well, I'm still at home. Whenever I get back there, because that's the type of shit I'll be on. When them little punk ass bigots in that damn command want to be on some old smart shit, I get smarter than them. And I say some real foul shit to them. Give a fuck what your rank is. Motherfucker, we can't work with each other, then we enemies. That's the way I used to treat them punk ass motherfuckers. And they never succeeded. Yeah, I get Article 15s, but they never succeeded at shit with me. They was just a bunch of punk ass bitches. And then even as civilians, they ain't nobodies, but a bunch of punk ass bitches to this day. Half of them probably walk around here ready to die and shit. And I'll kick them in the dirt. Like I say, I don't give a fuck about people military service because you're a veteran. You probably was a piece of shit. And that shit don't mean shit to me. Like I don't care. Your character means everything. Give a fuck what you serve. You ain't no entitlements. And give a fuck about no rich punk bitches like Trump. None of that shit. I'll go in the comments in a minute. But so I come back late from this damn leave. So this is like when and this is around the time when my brother's shifting towards all this gang banging shit. This is right around the time where right as he when he came for my damn graduations from basic training, I seen the transition going on in my brother and all the cats in my neighborhood. They start drifting towards street shit, all of them. And so this is like looking at this picture was like a take me back to a memory of like seeing where the changes in people began. My brother started going off to jail, then later prison, shit like that. Them getting in trouble, just doing wild shit, just really being on wild shit. And this got to be like this ain't 99. This is early 2000s maybe. This is before September 11th. So this is like early 2000s, I think, when this photo was taken. I think my first time coming back home, I saw it when I graduated basic. So that gotta be it gotta be summer 2000s because it's still warm as shit based on us wearing shirts and short sleeve shirts. Uh, uh, but yeah, that's when that dude started transitioning to being on street shit, man. But like I say, just even being on a base, like base life, like outside of work and shit, you still get a little semblance of being just regular civilians. You can see us, we as black folks, we stayed attached to what was going on in civilian life because we know we have to transition back into that shit. We try to, like you see us, you would never tell, like we go out in a lot of shit. That's why I never wore that army uniform when we were off of work. You wouldn't dare see me in that shit off base. If any time I ever been in that uniform off base, I'd probably count that shit on one hand, and it's probably no more than 3 times, and that's probably us rushing to get to the mall, maybe to buy some shoes. That's on the other times I remember us rushing off of when we get off of duty to rush off base to go to the mall to go try to buy the new J's or some shit, which we were always buying. We always blow through our money, man. We so young. I think I'm probably, if this 2002, I'm 20, I think. I think I'm 20 years old back then. Young ass dudes and shit. All of us old. Some of us hair done fell out. Some people hair gray and shit. Everybody got kids. We old now, man. That shit crazy looking back on there, how time fly and shit. How time fly. And then to look at these fools probably generals and shit. Moving through and never understanding with the way in which people like myself conducted ourselves, and cats like this were just dumbfounded by this shit. But these are white dudes of privilege who had no understanding. But deep down inside, they knew. That Sergeant Major knew. This is why that fool kept looking out for me when I get in trouble. Go off on one of them motherfuckers. And them people in my unit knew it. Now I'll beat your motherfucking ass in here. They would take a court martial, all that shit. I don't play that racial shit. Let me say what's up to y'all, man. That's what my found memories of that military shit. Hey, I was looking at that shit earlier before I went live, probably a few hours ago. Mark Summerton. I forgot who brought that shit up about that damn China building that bridge and all that shit. I didn't know if it was that bridge. So you saying it's that bridge, but yeah, I did see the collapse. They said something about a landslide, and it caused that new bridge that just so since they said it was a bridge that just opened. I'm assuming it's part of that bridge they was showing in China. That motherfucker fell down already. Who knows? Trump probably done had that motherfucking earth shook over there and dropped the bridge. It says, did you see that bridge in China collapses? I remember hearing people on this channel praise China for building the bridge so fast. Facts. And then Mir always right says, salute, General, laughing my fucking ass off. Yeah, shit, General, nothing, man. If I imagine me going through the officer corps and that, man, they got to clean the military up. That's just simply what it is, man. Because the military can be a great experience, man. But when you're dealing with bullshit and bullshit people inside of a unit, it can make that experience a little bit. It can make that experience different. Some people put up with a lot of that bullshit. Maybe they just didn't want to return home. Maybe things back home were effed up, and some people. What was the word I'm looking for? Some people just, I don't know. They channeled their anger away from responding to these people in a way that probably would have brought some kind of action or whatever it was that they just, wouldn't respond to it, try to ignore it. Some of them, I think, were afraid to address certain people just based on how they were brought up and not addressing, white folks and shit. And I don't know, just to make their 20-year careers or whatnot. I couldn't do that shit. I couldn't do that shit. And then Aaron Parker in the building, salute. Sylvester in the building. And then DD Tech Health says, are you in the army? Nah, man, the title says honorably discharged 23 years ago. Hell nah. And then shit, you think they'll let me grow this shit in the army? Maybe in the new army, maybe you can grow goatees and all that shit. And then Mark Summers says, white man's always holding you down. Man, who said that? They ain't hold me down. What white man afraid to get punched is what my story would be like. Not no held down by no white man. White man afraid of getting his motherfucking jaw checked, chin checked. Simple as that. You don't hear me saying about no hold down, but it got me in disciplinary situations with the unit. But hold me down, no. But I think a lot of my actions open the eyes to a lot of bullshit going on in that unit and units all across the military. And my experience is just based inside of not just a whole unit, because there's other situations across I'm in a battalion. I'm in one company of a battalion inside of a platoon in this company. This is a widespread thing, and I'm pretty sure other people got the experience. A white dude like you, Mark Summers, it'd have been a dual standard in what you would have been dealt with. Your ass could have been a drunk, you could have been a homo, you could have been all type of shit, and they would have put that shit up under the rug to cover up for your fruitcake ass. You've been a drug addict, a wife abuser, a criminal. They would have hid that shit. So you would never have dealt with or experiencing this shit that I dealt with at all. You being a white soldier, you may not like that shit because you want to think that you guys have to get it the hard way and have to work hard. Nah, it's just that way, homie. I'm just sorry you never heard it like that, because I'm a person who speaks the goddamn truth. I don't like sugarcoating shit. I don't like that PC bullshit. And then Sylvester says, would you ever go back to serve your country? Says, would you ever go back? Man, hell no, I'm too old. But if for younger people, I would advise them to join that shit. You just make sure you address when you're dealing with punk ass bigots. But I would say I wouldn't tell people to address shit the way that I did. No, I would say address the shit the way I did, but probably more strategic in the way you handle that shit. But going in, I think there's things I could have did much better if I went back in there. There's things I could have did much better. But there's things that like first and foremost, that a lot of those older little punk ass white sergeants could have went about in their way of dealing with shit. Maybe they should have had their moments with God and all that fake Christianity shit they be on and all this other shit. I think more of them needing to have, kind of a talk with themselves in the mirror if they had a second chance at doing shit. And then the sandwich says, what was your MOS? Oh, 19 kilo tanker, man. Oh, y'all just got in here. Y'all ain't see the tank? Look at the wheels. Yeah, look at the wheels. And that's why I saw this thing when I was in there, they was trying to kill me, because that's that tank with the mining shit. So my tank got the little thing at the front slope where we'll hook mine equipment. I never in Fort Hood never had to put that mining shit on. When we're in the Mojave Desert at Fort Irwin, I ended up having a tank with the with those blades. I had the in the two tanks I had. In one tank, we had the tank with the rollers in it. It was always parked in front of our little station. We parked our tank, but we never went in the field with it. I never went in the field with that mine equipment on Fort Hood. But we got to Mojave, we ended up having that shit put on there. Even when I left Alpha Company, and then got put into Bravo Company, I ended up on the tank with mining bullshit. But then it makes sense. When I was in basic training, I used to get pulled from at the end of our training or in the middle of our training. I'll get pulled from that shit to go do mine training. I'll go get training on how to set up mines, claymores, and all that shit. Teaching on how to deactivate fucking mines and shit. And it never occurred to me. And then even because I was so young and just into whatever the fuck, not paying attention to shit, that it should occur to me like this is why I end up drawing these tanks with mining bullshit on it, because it went into that training we're doing. Then even doing combat life saving training bullshit. But that shit just went in and out and never really soaked that shit in. But I was like, damn, I used to be like sometimes tripping, like, damn, these fools gonna send me to war to try to kill me. I'm in a tank meant to detonate mines and pull shit up out the ground. And then Mirror said 17, says, see, y'all know y'all J's. Yep, those was the 17s. And then James Arnold says 05K. And then what's that? An MOS? What's that job? And he says, Happy Veterans Day. Salute, salute. Mark Summers says, I doubt that happened. Says you're not really like that. Mark Summers, I wish you served in the army with you. Would have seen what I was like. I would have dogged you, homie. I would have dogged you. You would have been part of the rest of the white dudes in my unit talking about Reggie's a racist. That used to be the other little comical bullshit. These motherfuckers had the audacity to call me a racist. But I used to hear that shit a lot throughout life. Of me being a racist. Damn, it's 4:44. I got to call that. Current time, 4:44, 4:44. And then today is the 11th of the 11th. It's 11 people in here on 2025. Woo, look how numbers are just matching. Maybe I'll hit the jackpot tonight. But like that was the other crazy thing within this unit about me being a racist and all this shit. Like, are you motherfuckers kidding me? But I used to laugh that shit off and I used to love it. Oh, I'm glad y'all fear me. I'm glad y'all love that shit. Because they couldn't. That's why I used to say when I used to hear them white sergeant talk to certain soldiers, I'm talking about cussing at them and shit. And I walk by, man, you would never talk to me like that. Even one of these bitch-made motherfuckers who's a drill sergeant in my unit who was going crazy. And that's why they removed him from being a fucking drill sergeant. Then I get the four hood, his whole ass there. His name was Johnson. Oh, punk ass Sergeant Johnson. He was at Fort Knox, tripping, acting a fool, talk crazy. Drill sergeants having to get in there to break him up from the way he was coming at young soldiers and talking them crazy. And then he was being removed. I think he really was losing it up here, like becoming angry. Maybe something's going on at the house. Because that's the other thing with a lot of them sergeants and shit. People in there, they bitches be up there cheating and leaving them and shit. And they bring that little issues from the house over to the damn job and then be trying to flex rank and talking to people in the old sideways. But Johnson was acting a fool at fucking Fort Knox. And then he was gone in the midst of our fucking training class and shit through my basic training. I get the four hood, his whole ass there. And then I hear him talking the same crazy way. He wouldn't talk to white kids who be fucking up like that. I hear him talking to certain black people. Mainly this black dude. What's that fool name? There was a black fool from out of Jersey. Then what's that fool? What's his name? McDaniels? Daniels? Matter of fact, he was a fool because this is the time I thought I was gonna fail a weed test because I had smoked weed one time. And we end up having a weed. We end up having a fucking piss test. This is the time I tell that story when I took that niacin shit. We having a fucking piss test today, and then I'm going to go appeal an arc. No. I was getting the Article 15 the same fucking day. And so I gotta go speak to the battalion fucking commander after taking this shit because they make me go just out of nowhere. I think, was I working at the gym? I forget. They made me take a piss test out of nowhere. I get the niacin in front of one homie because there was people who was smoking and them fucking talk about this niacin shit. I took that shit and fucking this shit set me on fucking fire. Matter of fact, it's in the midst of the winter. I know what was it? No, it had to be during whatever it was cool in that damn office. It was cool in that office. I'm in this bitch drenching. My eyes in this mug, bloodshot fucking red. I'm in this motherfucker shaking. And I best believe these people thinking like, yeah, he's scared now. I mean, that niacin shit was fucking me up. Oh my God. That was the worst experience of that shit. Oh my God. For y'all who ever, I don't know, ever taken that shit before. That shit was messing me up. And I'm in here trying to defend myself from defend myself from an Article 15 when that shit kick in and burning me up. I'm talking about I'm in this mug drenched, like leaking. The sweat just pouring off of me, hitting the ground. They probably thinking like, oh yeah, he's scared. Look at him. Not knowing, man, I'm up here trying to, for one, make sure I beat that fucking urinalysis test. So then I'm working. Matter of fact, I am working at the gym because when I get pulled from the gym, I'm working in the damn they got me doing the phones at the damn unit. So fucking that dude from Jersey, McDaniel's in there, he answered the phone. And matter of fact, Daniel's about to get out. That's why he was there. He wasn't going to the field and shit. Daniel's in there close to getting out the fucking military. When they call the people who give the drug test shit, they need to speak to the first sergeant. He answers the shit. And that fool going to first sergeant office, he come back laughing. Cause he heard when I spoke with the homie from Chicago Waters, and I'm up there tripping because I hear the clock, that shit, that little ticking of his clock. I'm like man, something moving, something making noise. What the fuck is that? I'm doing that shit. And so he heard that shit. So he laughing like, man, fool, you didn't fail the test. You didn't fail the test, like, man, because that's the only way they calling. I'm like, man, yeah, right. Like, I don't know what you talking about. And then I'm at this time because I'm having to do PT in the morning now for the little time I was out the gym. And when I'm seeing like the white dudes look like they whispering to each other and then they looking over, and I'm up there banging on these fools. Like, punk, what the fuck you looking at? Because now I'm tripping like, fuck, I didn't fail this damn test. That's why they call. That shouldn't up being that motherfucker McDaniels. I don't even think that's his last name. I think that's his name, or his name was Daniels. That's his name. His name Daniels. That shouldn't have been that fool that failed. You know they kicked that motherfucker out the army. They dishonorably discharged his fucking ass. He had like a month or something left. And I heard his life had been fucked up since that shit. Kicked him out. They wasn't doing that shit, the motherfucker. They would deduct their rank and shit. So the white kids would be felling on cocaine, ecstasy, and shit. But I was like, damn. But I didn't feel nothing when I fool up there thinking I felt that shit trying to laugh. Drifting Soul says video evidence. Video evidence of what? And OD says blessings, General Ridge. And Mark Sumner says you would never make it in says in other countries military. Why wouldn't I? I'll be a citizen of that country, right? So I'm pretty sure I would have made it in that shit. You act like America like they military is something different. Cause like I say, y'all have these assumptions of what military is based on the shit y'all see on TV. And if they want to make some little cornball punk ass chump want to make American soldiers seem like they weak and this and that, like a fat hoe ass pussy named Trump, and the little buster ass National Guard reservist TV clown Heck said, want to act like they toughen up the military and they've been bitches all they fucking life, but can pander around and prod around stages like they tough fucking Green Beret Rambo ass motherfuckers, and y'all believe in that shit. The fuck out of here, yo, couch watching pussies. And then what is that, Carl? What is that, Carl? I just call you Carl. Says you still talk to him? To my folks from my unit? Yeah. And he says, yeah, said I remember the military days, man. Man, it was some of the greatest cats I done met, man, in that unit. 212 Cav. That's where the homie Tex come from. Tex was in 212 Cav with me as well. And the Mark Summers says you have too much prejudice and bias. Me? That's the common thing I hear from white folks like you, Mark Summers, where you try to reverse that shit. Reg ain't got an ounce of prejudice or racism in him. But what I do have is the ability to address racist, bigot, biased pieces of shit. So that shit, like I always say to motherfucker, that shit don't work over here. I'm far from racist. And it's just funny when you call people out, they want to call you racist. And then Sammy says, yo, NLE or YB. What you talking about that NL Chopper? Man, I was seeing that fool. Man, that fool is a fruitcake, man. I think he been one of them old young rap dudes that done smoked some kind of dope and he probably done did some homo shit. That fool weird as fuck. And I don't listen to none of them dudes. I'm in my 40s, man. I will hear their music. I know who they are because I follow shit. But something wrong with that NL Chopper dude. And then Fanbow says Happy Veterans Day. Says to the tree. Says salute to all the black soldiers for fighting for for our country. Absolutely, always salute to the black soldiers. That is no doubt about that shit. And then X in the building says wham wham, says salute. And then Fanball says he was shaking he's shaking bricks. Says he's shaking bricks. Says you thought you was about to get kicked out the military. Or you meant shitting bricks. Did I? No, I was just gonna bang because I was like, damn, they finally got me because I had that because this thing like with me in that unit is I had that incident where I spit on that fucking captain and they thought they was gonna give me for fucking they thought they were gonna give me and we was going through a court martial. That's when I went to go talk to Jack for the first time and all these fucking Article 15s these motherfuckers was giving me. The unit was in the field and shit. And so I end up going to see a JAG attorney. I don't even know how to use it. They fucking present the Article 15. I sign that shit, do my 45 days restriction, 45 days extra duty. They reduced my pay. Man, I kept getting my fucking pay reduced. I stepped losing my fucking pay and shit. I think I had maybe one time they demoted me. But I think I probably had like 3 or 4 Article 15s before I spit on that fucking captain. My barely in the fucking unit. No, this might have been my second Article 15. I spit on that captain within my fucking first year, maybe first year in this unit. I don't think I was in the unit for a year when we had that incident. I spit on this motherfucker. And so they was trying to get me to sign that shit. I go talk to the JAG lawyer for the first time and all this shit. I was almost like, damn, these fools been duping me. Just give me a sign this shit. And I talked to the attorney about what happened. And that JAG lawyer was like, when I told him how that officer came, he was like, that officer is in the wrong. He violated with what his as an officer, the bearing he's supposed to maintain. He went against his oath or whatever it was. He didn't maintain his military bearing. And therefore, he runs a risk because he had just got promoted. He wasn't even in Fort Hood no more. That motherfucker got promoted to a major around the same time I did that shit. And he used to act like he didn't want to be there. So around this time when this shit popped off, he leaving to go to Germany. He got promoted to major to be an XO somewhere in Germany. So when the lawyer was like, yeah, the officer is the one at fault. He's at blame. I was like, exactly, because this shit would have never happened if he never would have walked up there running up on me talking shit like that. I'd never thought to spit on him or even thought to even punch this motherfucker. And so we moved forward with the Article 15. It's like, well, you run the chance of being kicked out, being placed in fucking whatever fucking jail the military got and blah, blah, and then you've been kicked out. But he runs a chance of losing his commission. He runs a chance of being put out and being shamed and embarrassed as an officer. And I was like, fuck him. Oh, well, fuck that. I'm gonna go for it. Cause I'm in the right. I ain't wrong for that shit. Man, so when they send that letter, the JAG attorney type up that shit, woo, 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 my shit got checked on court martial. I ain't doing that Article 15 shit. We go walking back because we marched over there too. So it's a bunch of other people getting Article 15s and shit and other little trouble they in who going to go see a JAG attorney. We marched back over there, little sergeant who part of this detail. He look at our paperwork. He look at my shit. He see court martial on that motherfucker. He read the little note document in that motherfucker. And I started smiling at his ass because they already know what I'm here for. It's in front of the whole fucking, it was in front of the damn near all the first cav when I spit on that captain. So he know what the fuck I was over there for. They already looking at me like I was crazy and shit. And I'm just smiling at that motherfucker. Then we disperse, go to our fucking, finish our duties for the day, which is in the motor pool. Time go by, I don't hear from none of these punk ass people. Not that first sergeant, not the captain over there. Who was a black dude and shit. It was a little short black dude who was our company commander and shit. He ain't nothing but an ass kissing motherfucker. And so time go by, then they decide they don't want to go forward with it. They want to just drop this shit. So when that first sergeant called me in there and shit, he gonna tell me, what he called me in there? No, I think I'm still in headquarters when I'm going to the Article 15 shit. When they finally moved me, however, well, I was in Bravo Company, but I go see that fucking Bravo Company first sergeant when he called me in the office about talking about giving me a second chance and shit. That's when I tell that first sergeant, I said, you ain't giving me a second chance at nothing. I said, you saving that captain career. Knowing he a major, like you saving Captain Cody career. Because that's his name. His name was Captain Cody. Who knows how fucking high up he went in rank. Like you saving his career. You ain't giving me a second chance at shit. That white dude turned red, then the motherfucker hearing me say that shit. And mom only a problem like an E3 or some shit. Private first class. Like y'all ain't about to, you don't shake me with none of that shit. You can shake the rest of these other black motherfuckers, but not me. Not all black people function in the way that you think they supposed to turn the other cheek and all this other shit. You don't see me going to church and all that hallelujah shit. I don't play that shit with y'all. And then so it was a one time he thought he was gonna. They thought they try to play me. We go to a gunnery. Gunnery is big as tankers. I end up driving for my tank crew and two other tank crews. One crew who shot the highest gunnery score in all of Fort Hood armor units, and then the unit that came in second in our battalion. They drivers ain't there. The one crew driver, think wife was having a baby, and the other motherfucker forgot what happened to them. When we doing this ceremony, so now they doing this big ceremony and shit. Think the some high ranking motherfucking general there and some other shit. When they call the crews, I'm just sitting there waiting. Like I know I'm about to go up there and give me an award and shit. They don't give me shit. They give it to the other motherfuckers who wasn't there with their crews the award. That first sergeant come up walking over me to give me a coin. Because they used to, some people, little kiss ass people, be wanting coins from generals. They want coins from sergeant majors and shit. Motherfucker give me a coin. Man, right when he's still right there, when he give me this coin, I said, hey, who want this? I flicked that shit right there in front. He knew he still walked off. He knew when I flicked that shit. Like, now I don't want nothing from you. Like, fuck y'all. Man, I'm talking about, man, I was rebellious to the motherfucker. And he says blood was tripping hard. So I meant blood was tripping hard. And then the X says the same thing happened. The same thing happened to my partner. Says called him back off terminal leave, says this to dishonorably discharge him. Yeah, I was seeing a lot of whole ass shit with that military shit. I'm talking about ruined motherfuckers military service. It's a lot of people out here with dishonorable discharge. And also says this Diddy's brother. Probably related to that nigga somewhere. And then Fanbow says the black soldiers says don't get the respect that they deserve. That's what I'm saying, homie. That's what I'm saying for real. And we had to put up with these motherfuckers. Even when you go into because there don't be black soldiers that tell the stories like I tell them about the real shit you put up with. But this even the story about even with the Navy. And this going back into the 6th. And even when you look at the military, integration in the military is some new ass shit. I think Korea, they experimented with integrating a few units and shit. And they really wanted to do it when they start looking at with the success Patton, who gets highly praised with the efforts of his divisions in Germany and shit, and these black soldiers, along with the Air Corps black soldiers with lesser superior aircraft, and still was serving in World War II because of the bigotry inside of America and the insecurities of people put in the high leadership positions. America doesn't really start integrating until Vietnam, which is in what? The late 60s going into the 70s? So you think that shit just washed away with all that bigoted shit? And what black soldiers had to do in whooping these motherfuckers? Like I say, the greatest motherfucking talk about the military experience, especially in Vietnam. Let me pull up this shit with Snoop Dogg's dad. And I was looking at this channel called American Gangster. Hold on, Snoop Dogg dad and American Gangster. I think it's the Mexican dude name. Let me see if I can find this shit. I'm gonna post this shit into my comment section. Here it is. Here it is right here. Let me put it in here. And I'm gonna pop it on the screen. This was the greatest fucking hold on. The greatest details of the Vietnam War. Snoop Dogg's father gives the most detailed experience. Hold on, let me see. Experience of Vietnam. I think that's titled Vietnam for black soldiers, for black, not a black, but black soldiers. I'm gonna put that in my community post. Y'all check that shit out. But let me show y'all. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. How many years ago was that interview? The original interview, he got this one post. This got to be a repost of that interview because I'm talking it's so powerful. But this had to be, this one originally aired longer than that. That shit had to be back in. So he has it even kind of archive where he takes it all the way back to what chapter it is because they knew how powerful it was. That shit had to be more than 2 years ago. That shit might have been 3 or 4 years ago where they interviewed him. And he gave that goddamn experience of the black soldier and what they deal with, being him being from fucking Vietnam, and I mean not Vietnam, him being from Mississippi, and the way in which they, you know, their experiences where he comes from the deep racist, openly racist ass South, and him growing up and seeing black folks who wouldn't have the courage of stepping up to these people and doing this and that. So he's in the military, seeing all this shit. And this experience is black soldiers still having to deal with these old bigoted ass white dudes coming from fucking rural America, even some inner city America, and the hills of America. Over there in Vietnam, carrying the Confederate flags, flying on vehicles and this and that shit. And he was like, the way in which he was seeing soldiers from out of Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, all these major cities who wasn't playing that shit with them dudes. And it started to even wake him up to where he wouldn't put up with that shit. And that's what I think was the difference with me being from LA and dealing with that backwoods shit in the military. I didn't fuck with that shit. You ain't, and I used to tell them, motherfucker, that's why I even get into it with my one tank commander the night I slammed that MP and shit. And that little bitch ass motherfucker who had kids with a black chick. But his chick, I think he had a black chick who didn't fuck with black dudes and shit. But the motherfucker sat there and wouldn't defend me when it came time to me trying to defend myself with that MP shit. Matter of fact, no, that shit when I took the knives and shit wasn't for the that shit wasn't for the spitting on the officer. It was over when I slammed that MP. It was over that shit. Cause that punk motherfucker wouldn't defend me and shit. And so when they gave me the Arc 15 on that shit, I don't even get charged from the MPs because that cop knew he fucked up. He ain't charged me with a resisting arrest. He ain't charged me with assault on the officer. He ain't charged me with none of that shit. They just kept me down there, didn't put me in no cell. They waited for these pussy ass people in my unit to pick me up, which they don't pick me up until later on Sunday. Because this shit happened Sunday morning. It happened like 4 a.m. And they leave me there till it was almost going dark again. And then he tried to when they gave me Arc 15, they wouldn't defend me and shit. So that's what that when I because it's around the time I ended up smoking that weed that one time and then end up trying to defend myself, trying to reverse that Article 15 when I'm on that nice and shit. So that's what that shit was. No, that's when I first went to speak to the battalion commander when they were giving me the Arc 15 was when I took that license. So I later tried to appeal that shit, which I think I may have got. I appealed that shit at a later date, and I came to explain to the battalion commander that I was nervous and that because I was making up excuses for why I was sweating like that and shit. And then but yeah, the black soldiers go through a lot of shit. But going back to that shit, so I was bringing up about Snoop Dogg's dad speaking about the experience of the black soldier in Vietnam. all this punk shit. And then he give a detail about Snoop's history and all shit. But a great fucking interview on American Cholo, who was having issues because he was saying some ill shit about black folks creating this little conflict amongst blacks and Latino or essays out there in Los Angeles and shit. And then he started getting marked out by his own people and shit. Let me see. I don't think let's see American Cholo got any content. Because I think he was going at odds with his own people. His popularity ain't what it used to be because he was creating that punk ass shit amongst division amongst the races and shit. Because before his channel used to pop, yeah, he ain't popping like that no more. Because when he tried to be on that whole ass shit. But going back to this shit with what started to change with the Navy and the experience of black soldiers dealing with in the Navy, because I say this integration shit is new amongst in our school system. That shit is new within the corporate side of things, and why we still have these battles we face. Why white dudes like Mark Summers can't say shit and shut the fuck up on anything when it comes to America. American stories can only be told by black folks. Honest black folks, because some black folks lie like a motherfucker when it comes to history and give you inaccurate shit. But and even looking at the military integration is new, and these are deeply racist ass institutions: schools, banking, military, law, and so in the Navy during the 60s, when they doing all this shit where you have white officers saying shit to black soldiers, they're in groups of threes or anything larger than that, wouldn't break through the ranking structure in there. You don't really hear about too many admirals that are black in the damn Navy and shit, and especially you go way back in time. But when they were having these conflicts, where it'd be nothing if a black soldier, this is where black soldiers start walking in groups and shit. This is where black soldiers start having all this camaraderie, especially in Vietnam, the handshaking shit. Where people, especially Chicago people, you see them doing all this handshaking shit. That shit come from out of military cats and about unity amongst them motherfuckers. But when they walking around on them ships and shit, and if they in there by themselves or walking in small groups, it'd be enough for white sailors to jump on them, kick them off ladders and shit, because ships have these different levels they climb up on, jumping on them. And so the tide turned on that shit. I forget which ship is a well-noted incident where some black soldiers beat the dog shit out of some white sailors. They may have been high-ranking white sailors. And they beat the shit out of them. They were having these little skirmishes on ships. But this one, I think it was during Vietnam time, might have been through in the 60s or 70s. They beat the dog shit out these dudes. And that shit thing got away from that ship, ended up being reported in the paper somewhere. Then the Navy started to want to fucking address these issues about where blacks aren't really finding themselves making it through the ranking structure, being promoted. And you start seeing black NCOs moving up in the Navy and shit. Even the black officers who went through college to become commissioned, getting their promotions and getting bumped up because of these incidents and the shit that was being addressed in the public. And that's some new shit. Like, so motherfucker don't know the experience of black soldiers, especially no new arriving ass white immigrant like Mark Summers, who loves coming to this channel because on top of him always made a comment, he loves the shit that he's learning from what he hears here. And he says, nope, that's false. I don't know that's false, but you should expand with what's false that I was talking about. Steph in the building says, what up? Says, be well. Says happy Veterans Day, and then also says so you were a bad soldier at the end. Nah, motherfucker was a great soldier that got out honorably, that got out with rank. So no, a motherfucker was a absolutely good soldier in the midst of dealing with these punk ass hoes. And this is the other thing of what they used to always play, this Reggie racist, he don't like white folks and this and that stupid ass shit. When it be nothing for these old white dudes to be saying all type of ill, racist ass shit to all type of other people in that unit. And it'll be just business as usual with shit. And everybody else be acting scared from the Latino motherfuckers. There'll be a lot of Puerto Ricans in there. And they'll try to talk Spanish just during the Bush years. Before September 11th, you hear them white cats telling motherfuckers, oh, this is America talking English. Man, shut your white ass up. And I'll say some shit like that. Do your mama speak English? Do your granny speak English? or she speak that German shit. When your little new arriving ass get up over here. Now I used to tell them Spanish talking motherfuckers, they stand up for yourself. Then I start seeing Puerto Rican dudes start assimilating shit. Hang with these they're like, y'all some pussies, homie. Straight up pussies. Then we had a dude from Algeria, because everybody from in the military, just from the United States, are citizens of it. Algerian dude talking about white cats in there calling him a sand nigger and shit like that. Who told you that shit? Then they be knowing, because my response on how I'm going to address motherfuckers, and on top, you going to come over there too, and you going to learn to stand up for yourself, and then they cower out. I be like, damn, these people are pussies. Straight up pussies. And so that drill, my drill something about my tank commander, when he seen me slam that cop, the reason why he wouldn't defend me and shit was one day we was in because I used to tell these fools, I don't kiss white people ass. Don't talk because when we had we had who was that? Our gunner or some shit was gonna wire in the fucking music, because this back when they were playing Nickelback, Three Doors Down, some other little rock group that was out around the time, Limp Bizkit, and them was big. Some motherfuckers used to listen to the Clown Posse, whatever that shit was. And I used to be like, man, hey, listen, I got my own music. Y'all play that shit, just talk loud in the calm shit, and then we roll out. So, but I don't listen to that music y'all listen to. I got my own music. We had conversations and shit. Don't talk to me about no blonde haired chick, no brunette haired chick. I'm not a hairstylist. I'll talk about chocolate complected chick, caramel complected. My chicks come in variety. She got ass, she's slim, she thick. Look, I look like talking about a bitch with blonde hair. What else is to her? Oh, that's why y'all like these Melania Trump and flat body Bondi looking bitches and Marjorie Taylor Greene, no real feminine features to them. You ain't player enough. I don't want to hear your conversations on women. Don't talk to me about your TV shows. I got my own TV shows. So it was nothing. No, I don't want to assimilate to that shit. Y'all shit is goof. It's goofball shit. Keep this shit over there. Don't talk to me about your movies and this and that and this and that. You don't know. That's your segment of America. You can't have one person define what the fuck America is. Get the fuck out of here. Been here too long. Be assimilating the shit. So I tell them, I got my own movies. I watch this. Oh, let's talk about Martin. Oh, you don't watch that? Okay. I won't push it on you. Let's talk about In Living Color. Oh, you don't watch that? Don't worry, I won't push that shit on you. So don't push that shit on me. I'm gonna be listening to the new Corrupt album. I'm probably listening to that Gene Wine that came out. Drew Hill got albums. I'm gonna listen to that shit. I don't want to hear y'all shit. Y'all play that shit. I don't listen to heavy metal. So the motherfuckers should be on that shit. I used to tell them, I don't kiss white people ass. And then the one thing that was a draw, because the sergeant was having a conversation, because this is why he wanted to talk race. Our tank went down when we was at Fort the NTC at Fort Irwin, and our so we get pulled from the little simulated battle that's going on. We end up in the damn maintenance pool for like a couple of days. It was in that maintenance shit out of the damn main area box for like 2 or 3 days. It's like me and him and shit. And so he was asking about, we was walking to a Burger King on the base and shit. And he was asking, for those who've been to NTC and shit, that Burger King that's on that base. And he was asking some shit about why black people don't serve more, show patriotism towards their country. Why don't more black people serve in the military, this and that? This is their home. And I said, why? I said, if anything, more whites need to serve in this country. Because this is a country that adds so many protections for y'all. You get so many privileges in here. You look in this unit. Because I brought up to the shit when them white dudes got busted for all them drugs heading on the way to damn be promoted to sergeants and shit. And how no black people was in that group. And like shit all widespread throughout this shit. So, and then you look at the history of it, white folks have never faced a nation that has come at them. So if black people have an option on whether they serve or not, that should be their choice, because this nation ain't done nothing for them. And we've been the most patriotic to this motherfucker. So I'm like, what is that fool? That name was Stetson. No, what's his name? Sexton. I think that was my tank commander name. And then they Sergeant Sexton. I said, so no, black people don't have to serve in the military if they choose not to. Said this country owes so much to black folks. If anything, white folks should be forced to serve in the damn military because it's going to be a country that gives them all type of opportunities and second chances. That motherfucker was mad than a motherfucker on the walk back. I don't even think we really talked after that shit. It was kind of cool because he thought I was just a little knucklehead dude who, he was like, I take him under my wing. He heard me say that shit. And he was always hearing that shit about me being racist, not knowing it's true. Then he was a dude who had mixed race kids because, like I said, his wife was black. But he stopped being on, things changed, even on that tank shit changed. And then the night when I'm slammed that motherfucking MP and the CQ dude, because I told that story a bunch of times, he going to tell him MPs out there fucking with our soldiers. He come out. That time I'm going to stand over this damn MP after I slammed him. And when I see him coming out, that's when I was like, all right, I give up. I lay down. And that little punk ass officer who I just finished slamming, he going to try to fucking grab my arm up and try to act all tough and shit. That commander, when they come get me later, later in that damn day, he tried to, I don't know what he said. He said some old hoe ass shit. He wouldn't defend me on that shit. And I was like, when I look at him, I'm like, I know what that shit is. He going off of that shit that I said to his punk ass in NTC. And then when they made this shit, so they have been plotting against me and shit. When they moved me in when they finally moved me over to Bravo Barracks, I was in the unit, but still living in my original company's barracks and shit with my the homie Jo. And they moved me in with a white dude who was a bigger white dude, but I would have dogged him. That size shit didn't mean shit to me, especially a motherfucker who can't fight and not really that athletically gifted. Would have dogged him. And then so when they moved me in there, so my name around this damn company I'm in is that I don't like white folks. I'm racist. They probably playing me like I'm a thug because I'm from. When I tell people where I'm from South Central. I don't say I'm from Los Angeles and y'all think Hollywood. I'm from South Central. Now I don't know thug shit, but pride in what South Central is. I don't take pride in the negative shit they report of South Central. I take pride in what black people came there and established. I honor the older generations of blacks that came to South Central and established themselves, not the ignorant shit that young crack baby motherfuckers have done with what they think represents being a blood or crip or representing black gangs. So when they moved me in with this dude, in mind, they talking about how I don't like white folks. So the first time when we in there, he quiet. That nigga don't say nothing. He even afraid to say what's up to me and shit. Quiet. It was a one day when his friends didn't know I was living there because they all be all giddy and this and that and jolly with each other and shit. And so I hear them fools outside the door. They knock on the door and I hear them talking through the door and shit because they got these cheap ass doors for our barracks. I open the door, man, them niggas immediately turn white, nigga, like they saw goddamn the whatever color they had in their skin, that shit flushed the fuck out. And they turned pale as fuck. And all that little shit I was hearing before I opened the door just stopped. And they, I'm like, what's up? Because now I'm fucking with because I already know what they think of me. Like, what's up? Is Astapool here? I said, yeah. Slam the door in the nigga's face. And the fucking, no, I don't slam. I think I closed the door. I pushed the door, but it got that little shit, the door is closed all slow. The door closed. I said, hey, your friends out there. And he's, oh, okay, thank you, Owens. And then that fool leave off. So that was the thing. Them niggas stopped coming up there to even come see if he go into the chow hall with them or wherever they go hang out. In mine, we didn't really talk like that. I go hang with the homies or hang with a broad I got or fucking be on my side and they be on his side. He'll walk in, just walk over to his little side. Our barracks is like an open little split. They got these little cabinets, a little TV stand cabinets or computer desk shit. And that's all that separates your side. It's just an open ass room. One bathroom, all that shit. You share a bathroom, one sink, a little kitchenette, like the sink and all that other shit, and the refrigerator, but no stove. But it's almost like almost being in a studio apartment, but you just use something to separate it. And so when he started having a chick he was fucking with, even when she'll come over there, they be quiet. They be like it be almost seem like they're afraid to even say hi to me and shit. And so fucking when I start seeing like multiple times, but when he bring her over there, I leave because I'll be on player shit. You got a broad, man. Have your time with your broad, make her comfortable, get your smash on. I'll leave. And so she'll come through multiple times. Mine never used to speak to her. Her nigga immediately go to the side. She didn't even look over there. They say nothing. I guess he must have told they got me in with this old militant black nigga and all this other shit. So she was afraid and probably like they moved me in because they think he's going to attack me because I'm white. And they want me to be able to defend myself against them. And then we're going to kick him out. So fucking after maybe the third time I see him, every time he bring her, I leave and shit. And I'll be gone for a good amount of time. Like, all right, he probably done fucked and shit. I get back, she be gone. So they get they rounds in or whatever they doing. So one day I see him in the mold pool and I approach him. I said, hey man, when you about to bring old girl through, just let me know. So I ain't gotta be there. So I ain't gotta be there, and that way she feel comfortable. Y'all do your thing. So then he was like, after a while, your company come and tell me, he's like, oh, hey Owens, I'm gonna have company tonight. I said, okay, for sure. I'll be gone. You ain't gotta worry about it. I'll come later on. So he'll come tell me, whoop, whoop. And whenever he bring her, I wouldn't be there. So then it'll start being he wouldn't tell me that she coming through. He'll come through, and then now she even saying hi Owens and this and that, or they'll be going. Now he ain't about to just stay in the room and fuck. They about to go out to the movies. Or you want some? We're gonna grab something to eat. Owens, you want something? They start being cool, like opening up. So they always have this misconception, listening to these punk ass coward motherfuckers trying to paint a narrative about who the fuck I am. And then so one day when he was like, he come in the room and shit, he was like, man, Orange, he said, man, you ain't nothing like what they try to describe you as. He's like, man, you're cooler than all these dudes. And he was like, I'm gonna tell you what they had planned, why they moved us in. That's when he told me that because they didn't want to move me into a room with one of the white cats my size or smaller and shit because they thought I was racist and I would attack a white roommate. So they wanted somebody that would be able to defend himself because he was big. And then they were going to try to use that to, if you attack me, then that'll be their reasoning to try to put you out. I said, man, I looked at that shit. I said, I already kind of had a notion that's the fuck they was on. They're always trying to find some shit to kick me out for. But they weren't smart enough because it's always right with your boy, homie. And then Marsummer says Spanish language says comes from Europe, says just like the German language. Yeah, and that's the funny thing, but it doesn't get treated as a European language because so many it's kind of been more viewed as South Americans language. And then are south of our border. And Marsummer says Three Door Down says that was my shit. But you know it's funny with Three Doors Down and all that shit. I got out the military. And this back when I had like LimeWire and shit. One day I downloaded some of that shit. I was like, because that's the thing. I do be like some of the military experiences. I'll be looking back on that shit. Dreams about that shit, being on base and that shit, being in the field and on tanks. But I'll go back and play some of that Three Doors Down shit, that Nickelback shit. And that shit used to kind of, today, like on some nostalgic shit, or even back then in the early 2000s when I'll go back and listen to that shit, just go through some memory lane shit. I was like, damn, that's some cool white music. Like, it was some cool white music back then. But like I say, I got my own music, shows, movies, this and that, to where I don't listen to a lot of white music like that. But I was like, that shit was cool. Said Limp Bizkit. Yeah, Limp Bizkit was major back then. Said Martin was my shit. Says you were in the military. Says well, rednecks. No, not even redneck. A lot of white kids never watch a lot of black. Some white kids do. Their parents probably won't let them. They used to have to probably sneak and watch this shit. Because a lot of white kids do be wanting to see what black people are watching and what makes us so hip. Says watching Martin yesterday. Says Tashina Arnold. This fool trying to act like he down. He's trying to say her government name. And he says, you presented yourself as a thug, so stop men, never that. Anybody know me, I never presented myself as no thug. Don't act like no gangster. Because that shit how people act ain't gangster. They ain't no fucking true gangster. If motherfuckers truly gangster, you wouldn't have the fucking crime rates that people have. People think it's gangster to have murder, to be murder capitals. Ain't nothing gangster about that shit. Don't no true gangsters do no reckless ass shit. Killing motherfuckers over nothing. Ain't nothing gangster about that shit. So people have misdefined because of people's ignorance and shit and their stupidity on what a gangster is. Like none of that shit, man. Fuck is this lost, man? Lost, filled with anger and all that other shit, and just be doing reckless shit. These motherfuckers ain't no gangsters. And then Mark Summers says every young black man says every young black man did back then. Says defense, never a defense mechanism, because I wasn't just going in there swinging on motherfuckers and none of that type of shit. So never a defense mechanism. Nigga was in control and always right. That's all it was. Why they couldn't kick me out? And then Mark Summers said, and the roller says, "Yup, I used to always outsmart these motherfuckers. That was dumb to me." And the PDL says, "Bro, I was always smarter than the motherfuckers in my unit. For one, like I said, during that one time was like, man, it was one whole week from Monday through fucking Friday. Now I do PT in the morning because you gotta do that. Show up to that first formation, and then nigga, I wouldn't even go to fucking work. Now I go right to the motherfucking home. Then all y'all keep saying that Diddy shit. Yeah, everybody know I resemble that motherfucker. Ain't got his money yet. And then he says, but it'll be a whole week. I wouldn't even show up to fucking work. We finished that first formation, nigga, break, man. They give us a little brief on what they want to do, nigga. I slip out that motor pool and be gone. Dip off, nigga. I want to go to sleep. I'm tired. I ain't got enough energy to stay up and do this shit. I go back to the room and go to sleep. Even when the homie was going through his court martial shit, I don't show up to court. I go to my room. Them motherfuckers came in my room looking for me. And I go to hide in this shit. They knock on the door. I could have avoided all that shit. Just answer the door, acting like I came back to try to get a unit. Or I could have did anything else, but the shit I did. These fools looking for me. I go hiding. Then I'm under the bed, hidden away. These fools come in there. No, they knock. I'm thinking they gonna have the key. Don't have a key because I'm in my original company's barracks. So they gotta go back to the unit, back to the unit headquarters, get a key. They come back, hit them, knock at the door. No, I don't even think they knock. I hear them because the doors is thin. You hear through them. Now I'm in there, panic, like, oh fuck, they about to find me. Now I'm like about to go in my little closet. It'll be unlocked. They open and find me hiding that shit. I go roll up under the fucking bed, nigga. I'm under this bed, nigga, mummified. Nigga, I'm trying not to breathe. I'm praying to God I don't sneeze. I don't cough. I'm just under this motherfucker. Nigga, I'm praying they don't see my feet. Them fools looking on J.O.'s side. They open my closet because it ain't got the lock. Fucking, I'm like, oh shit. Like, man, these niggas about to get me. Oh man, I'm about to get got. I see them fools like one fool bend down thinking like, oh, these fools about to flip this mattress. They see me. And under the mattress ain't nothing but a spring, the little spring shit. So you lift it up, you see right down to that mug. I'm like, I'm just still staying quiet. I'm like, they gonna have to lift this mug for me to come out. I feel that fool hand do this shit because they older dudes and they bigger. They were slimmer dudes. They would have got down and looked under that bed. See that fool do this shit. I'm already at the wall side. He could even slid the bed out and probably would have seen me. But I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing where they feet at. Them fools like, all right, I don't know where he at. Blah, blah, blah. Fools walk out. Fools lock the door back. Nigga, I don't move because I'm thinking they about to fake me out. I don't react to none of that shit. I stay under there. Then J.O. and them coming back from Martin little court thing because they shut it down. That's why they was looking for me because I was supposed to defend Martin. It fucked up that court proceeding. I thought they would have moved on. Because I never been in no shit like that. Man, they called the unit. They looking for me. Woo woo. So later, like prior, however long it was, I hear the door unlock again. I'm like, oh fuck, these niggas coming back. They definitely saw me. I'm like, they probably back with a bunch of people about to flip this bed over. J.O., that fool Martin, who going through the court martial shit. Woody, was Smitty there? I don't know if the homie Smitty was there and somebody else. They'll go on J.O.'s side, they come back. And them fools over there, like, I don't move. I let them just go over on J.O.'s side. They in there talking and they woo. And I'm looking like, because I stay there, because I'm like, that's them sergeants ain't about to be sitting in that hallway area where it's a wall and I can't see and then pop out, see if I come out. So I'd stay under there for like a cool, 2 or 3 minutes while they sitting over there talking. And when I know it's just still, I'm like, what's up, fool? I come popping out that bed up, fools like, fool, what the fuck wrong with you, man? Like, man, you supposed to be down at the, like, that's why they got out, man. They ended the whole course shit. I was like, what? Yeah. Then I slip off back to, they tell me what's going on, I slip back off. Boom, go down that motor pool, walk around so people can see me. Then I shoot over to the company and then fake them out, give them a old bullshit story about whoop. And then they just let it go. They move past that shit. I don't have to go testify in his thing. Did that fool beat that shit? I think that fool beat it. It was over like some stolen shit. That he man, that's a whole story. I got in that shit. So I beat that shit, man. I'm talking, man, I stayed in some shit in that fucking army, bro. I stayed in some shit, but never no shit like the other motherfuckers they protected. Like they said, like we had a medic dude who had brought his own gun and shit. And see, that shit never made Fort Hood news and shit. When this fool out in the field and bring a personal gun, a loaded fucking gun to the field. And that motherfucker went off because we was leaving the field early because we end up leaving the train. We supposed to be in the field for like 3 weeks or a month or some shit. We end up coming back early because of protected species of bird. That was the one thing for it. It was some kind of bird that was protected in the train area. I don't know who comes out to spot these motherfuckers or what. We got to go back into the to the barracks and shit until this bird was out of the area and shit. So when they taking us by truck, we leave our tanks and all that shit out in the field, lock them down, blah blah blah, tarp them and all that other shit. We getting on the back of these trucks. One of the black fools who later he get kicked out over a gun. He get kicked out. I think they found a gun in his barracks or some shit. That fool was the first one to get on this truck, get all the way toward the front of the LMTV, whatever they call these trucks. The medic dude, the white medic dude, climbing in the back of the truck next. His gun dropped, discharged around. That who knows? That motherfucker could have probably fired that shit and act like it failed. Went right through the fucking front part of that truck. Now, none of these commanders or these other people in the unit gossip and tell all this story information. We heard from this black dude about what happened. You'd have thought they would have arrested that dude for that shit. He would have got kicked out. That motherfucker's Fort Hood big as fuck. We come to hear that this fool get moved to another division on that damn post. Swept that shit under the table like that. That black dude get caught. The CID, which is like the investigative division, like Bureau of the fucking military. They come raiding that nigga room and arrest him. I've seen that fool. I think he got kicked out over that shit. Even when they had this shit, because Tex even told that story. Well, I told it before. And Tex came over here and told that shit. That same sergeant who came into my barracks when I was hiding on the bed, he was one of the ones. This fool get caught up in this shit where this broad, mad at her dude, meet some dude, one of these dudes at the club, because Tex know more the inside and how that shit went down. I think what he was saying that the chick end up getting mad at her dude, meeting this dude in the club, came back to the barracks, let him fuck, and asked if he had any more friends. He going to tell another cats in the barracks. They all come down and fuck. That sergeant who came in my room when they were looking for me for that little for the homie court martial trial, he lived in the barracks. That fool come down there, he fucks the bitch, woo woo. This bitch later flipped that shit and claimed that they took it. And so now there's a big ass raid in the barracks. I'm talking about early morning raid. People waking us up, man. They bringing these fools out. That sergeant, he get brought out. He wearing military underwear. They used to give you brown ass drawers in the military. This fool, they drag that nigga out in his drawers. That nigga ain't had no shirt, nothing. He just out there in them brown ass underwear being thrown in the back of the car, and then they come to find out that bitch was lying. I'm talking about, man, I got stories for days with that military shit, but most of you motherfuckers watch movies and think the military is like these old Hollywood actors portraying some shit that they never been in. Neither has this pussy ass president. Neither has that punk ass dude Hegseg who think he's some old tough guy, faking like he's some old special force motherfucker, and he ain't nothing but a bitch and trying to play tough with military people because his punk ass and got some damn position of power, firing and fucking over people in 20 and 30-year careers. They all a bunch of bitches. That's all I got. Salute to my motherfucking veterans and a special salute to the black ones. Peace out, folks. Catch you on the next one. Peace.